Welcome to Women of the Wild,
where education and opportunities are key,
and friendships are made to last a lifetime.
Did you get it?
You think we got him? You think we got him? We got him. We said that yesterday.
All right, Skylar, what do we got here?
We've got a nice looking rip-off.
Yeah. Oh, there she is. Woo! You dropped our great ghost.
Give me a hug.
Hello, and welcome to the podcast of Women of the Wild. I am your host, Linda White, and I have my co-host tonight with me and team member, Megan Amershek. How you doing, Megan?
I'm good. How are you doing, Linda?
I'm doing great, thanks. And our guest tonight is Ashley Barta. How you doing, Ashley?
I'm good, thank you.
Great. So let's jump in. We normally try to keep these to about an hour, and so we have a lot to cover. So let's just jump right in. Ashley, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started in the outdoors?
Well, as a teenager, my stepdad and I would shoot rifles and go out and kind of mess around in the woods, but that was pretty much the extent of it. My parents and I would go on hikes and things like that, but I ended up marrying the high school football star, so that kind of ended all that. And then we had a child early on, and so I got pretty busy doing the whole family thing and working, and I ended up going back to school and getting my nurse practitioner. And so between, raising my family and being married, I was in the outdoors, but I wasn't active in the outdoors. I was mainly just, being a mother. So, but I'd always been super interested in it. I'd have doctors come into the hospital after their hunting trips and talk all about it. And I was always super interested in hearing what they'd done and what they were up to. And so I was always a little jealous, actually, that I couldn't go do those things. So fast forward and got my son graduated from high school and then from college, and became a single woman. So my mom got sick with breast cancer and unfortunately ended up on hospice. And so we ended up talking a lot there at the end. And you talk about a lot of things that you probably never talked about before. And I always took care of my mom and my stepdad. They did have a lot of health problems. And one of the things that she and I talked about was, you've always taken care of us. Now it's time to take care of yourself and go do the things that you've always wanted to do. And it just so happened that I went to the Ducks Unlimited banquet, and I was kind of dating a guy that was part of Ducks Unlimited at the time. And he would tell me about his goose hunting trips and duck hunting trips, but he would never take me on any of them. And I ended up winning a shotgun at the Ducks Unlimited banquet. And so my mom and I would talk about that. And she said, one of the things that I want you to promise me, you've always wanted to do it. She goes, please, please. She said, at least try it. She said, please go out and at least try to duck hunt, try to goose hunt, and just see if you like it. She said, just go live your life and try and explore and do the things that you've always wanted to do. She goes, you've always talked about it. You'd always come home and tell me all the stories about the doctors that you work with, going out and doing it. She goes, just go out and try it and see if it's something that you like. She goes, I know. She goes, I have a really good feeling that it's something that you really enjoy. So unfortunately she passed away, but that's, our little talks that we had just kind of stuck with me. So she passed away in February of 2020. So then, of course, COVID hit. So, aside from going to work, well, I was stuck at home along with everyone else. I did all this reading and reading and reading and reading and kind of joined a bunch of Facebook groups and saw what everybody else is up to. And so I literally, until I got that shotgun, had never shot a shotgun before. And really, even my stepdad only took me out and I shot the shotgun just kind of like a rifle, like target practice, basically. That summer, I just started like accumulating duck hunting stuff, like waterfowl hunting stuff. And then come like August, September, saw where a couple of women's groups had hunts planned. And I was like, well, I'm going to go join that. So my first hunt was with Wilderness out of Kansas City, and it was a duck hunt. And like, it was the best time. Like, there weren't even very many birds that day, but that was like my best time ever. I think that day I was like totally hooked. And then the second one was a sandhill crane hunt down by Oklahoma. And that was just so cool. And, come to find out, like, there's so many people that want to hunt sandhill cranes that never do. And my second hunt ever was sandhill cranes.
That's pretty cool.
And then I know, I mean, and I was just mesmerized by it. And then there was a ladies hunt down in Louisiana that had posted on I think the Female Federation of Waterfowl page on Facebook. And it was actually over my birthday. And it was going to be my first birthday without my mom. And I was like, I mapped it out and I was like, well, I can drive there. I did not know anyone. And I drove there for my birthday and actually killed my first duck that I know I killed. And then got my first speck belly goose as well. So, and then from that trip, I like made some of the best friends that I have now. And ended up going to Cadillac Creek Outfitters with them like a month later. So, and then did a snow goose hunt with like, I guess I felt confident after that I just found a snow goose hunt on Facebook and like went with like 10 other guys I'd never even met before. And I was like, well, I can go do that. I think kind of my mom's encouragement. And then I was like, I can go do that. Right. So, and I just had the best time and really found that being in the outdoors and meeting new people and really good people and like just the waterfowl community has been really good for, I think, myself and my mental health and just doing something for myself. And it's just grown exponentially ever since then.
It sounds like it. I'm sorry about your mom's passing, but it sounds like at the end she gave you some really, really sound advice that's going to stick with you for life. And that's something, whenever you're out in the field or whatnot, to think of her. That's fantastic. With going out on all these hunts and kind of getting into all these different groups, what do you think is one of the benefits of maybe being brand new to some of this stuff? And what do you think is one of the disadvantages of being kind of brand new to it?
I think one of the benefits is that you kind of haven't gotten caught up in some of the drama that can be a part of it. And you just don't know about some of the drama that can kind of be a part of it.
Okay.
And kind of oblivious to all that because you're like, well, I don't know. Like I don't know any of these people and I don't know any of this. I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And then kind of the advantage to already being a part of it is that you already know so many people and you kind of feel like you have some connections and can kind of like, I don't know, you don't feel, I don't know, I guess I kind of felt like an outsider at some point, but now people will be like, oh, well, do you know so-and-so? Oh, I know them. Oh yeah. There's advantages and disadvantages to being new and there's advantages and disadvantages to already being part of it. But all in all, I mean, it's great every time you go. I mean, just like anything else.
Yeah.
So
So what
So-
are some of the hunts that you are looking forward to going on? Maybe something that you would like to do again, or maybe something that you want to do in the future.
well, I did sea ducks on the West Coast, and this next year I'm going to do sea ducks on the East Coast. And then I think I've mainly done a lot of southern states, like in the Central Flyway,
Mhm.
and I would most definitely like to move to a different flyway to see what all they have to offer as far as how they hunt and the types of ducks they hunt, and just different species. I'm trying to get the United States Grand Slam. So I'm working towards that. I've had a couple friends that have done it, so that's what I'm kind of working towards. So and anytime I can add another state to my little map, I think
Mhm.
it'd be great. So
What sea duck did you end up getting on your hunt?
the surf scoter, a white wing, and a bufflehead. Only one girl was able to get a golden eye, and there was literally only one that ever landed where we could get it close enough. So, but it was a great time. And then we got lesser scalp. We got a bunch of bufflehead hens. So, but those little suckers fly fast.
Yeah. How many girls did you end up going with?
There was 3 of us ladies, and then there was a guy that was there doing his World Grand Slam, and he was trying to get a hooded merganser. And so his name was Howard, and he was awesome. So he ended up hunting with us because the guide needed 4 people on the boat, basically. So Howard was great, and he was like a wealth of knowledge. And Howard and I got pretty proficient in putting out the decoys. So, but Howard was awesome. So, but there was 3 of us ladies and Howard.
Shout out
So-
to Howard.
Yeah.
Howard was awesome. So, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm in New York, so if you ever want to come to New York, you've got a friend now. You can stay at the house and hang out, and maybe you can teach me a thing or two, because I've went duck hunting one time, and so I'm not a proficient waterfowl hunter at all. So if you want to come to New York, you can teach me a little bit, and then you can get your ducks.
Okay, that sounds great. That sounds great. I'm all for that.
Yeah, add some states. So what all states do you have so far? You have
Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Washington. Yeah,
so that's 7.
yeah. I think I'm missing one, but I'm not for sure. That's mainly so far where I've hung out.
That's a lot so far. I mean, to think that you've only been doing this for what? This will be your third year, right?
Mhm.
So I mean, 7 states in 3 years. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
That's
pretty
more
good.
that's more than me. Yeah.
I think I hunted Arkansas 9, 10, 11, probably about 16 or 17 days.
Because didn't you hunt with Jerry Joe Bibbs?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a good friend of mine. Yeah,
She's
we have.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's freaking hilarious.
That's so
She took
Yeah.
a lot of good pictures of my dog, and then we hunted in Texas too.
That's
Right.
awesome.
So do you think you're always going to stick to waterfowl, or do you think you're going to branch out a little bit, do maybe some other hunts, or is it really I want to do the waterfowl, I want to get, the Grand Slam done, and then maybe move on to something else, or what's your plans for the future?
I turkey hunted last year, and I really liked that. I went with a guide in Oklahoma, who's a friend of mine, and I was like, "Look, here's the deal. I haven't ever turkey hunted. I attempted to the year before, but that was kind of a mess. That's a long story. But I was like, look, here's the deal. I've never turkey hunted really for real. So I'm going to go with you. And I really just want to I need you to guide me and basically teach me your ways so that then I can go home and do it on my own." He was like, okie doke. So, we sat for 2 days and sat through every possible weather condition, like snow, sleet, rain, cold. Then it got to be 80 degrees, like
my God.
blasting winds. It was a lot. And then by the third day, he was like, "So are you worried?" I'm like, "No." Then by the third morning, one like did it right, and it wasn't a huge Tom, it was a Jake, but still, it like the whole setup was pretty awesome. So, and then I was able to come back to Kansas, and I did miss my shot, which was devastating, but I did learn a lot, and I mean, I was able to call them in, like put them to bed, go out in the morning and learn where they were. And if I hadn't missed that shot, I would have had my another turkey. So, but I feel confident that I can do it by myself this year. I'm still going to go to Oklahoma with him. And my friend from Texas wants to go. She's never turkey hunted, so we're going to go with him again because he has some great land. But I feel like I can do it by myself this year and be proficient and not miss the shot. I think I
Well-
just got excited.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I last year I was turkey hunting and I had a GoPro on me. Okay. Like, so I'm filming this whole shot, everything. I shoot this turkey. There's not even feathers, anything. It just looked at me and walks away. Like literally, I have watched that GoPro 100 times at least.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding. I was like dead on. The poof was there. I have no clue how I missed this bird. Like, or at least how I didn't hit like a feather or something. Like,
Yeah.
nope, 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 nope. It was literally poof. It looks at me and walks away. Like, I don't know what you're doing, lady, but this isn't it.
Yeah, that was one of our buddies showed us a video from last year. He's a big avid turkey hunter, but he does bow only. Like that's his gig. He does stuff with bow tech. And he showed us a video, and Justin and I were laughing because we were giving him some hell about it. And we said, did that broadhead just deflect off the turkey's wing? And it literally did. Like when he shot it, it went, it didn't even hit the turkey. It just deflected off the wing.
Oh no.
We're like, that happens in deer, but when does that ever happen in turkey? Like, really?
You must have wings of steel.
Yeah, apparently.
They're pretty tough birds. I will tell
Mhm.
you. They're pretty tough birds, but wow.
I about went out of my mind hunting these things on my friend's land. And he has a creek that runs through it, and you can't cross the creek without going all the way around his property to the other side. So, I mean, I about went out of my mind. I mean, I would go to bed like late at night after like putting him to bed, and then I would literally wake up at 2:30 in the morning and could not go back to sleep, and then get up and be out there like before the sun came up.
Mm-hmm.
And like I would think that they were going to come out on one side like they always did. Oh no, they would have to come out on the other side. And then by the time I got to the other side, they were, I don't know where they, I mean, I was going out of my mind. And then that morning, I'll never forget, that sucker was huge and had 3 hens with it. And I think I just was a little too far out and I wasn't set up just right. And I just missed it. And so I actually texted my friend who guided me in Oklahoma, and I said, "Well, I just missed the shot. Am I screwed?" And he goes, "Nope. As all they know is that they heard a big boom."
Yep.
He said, "Just try to get ahead of them." So I sat out there for like 3.5 more hours. And finally I was just so exhausted. I was like, I'm going home.
Aw.
I went home and took a nap, and then I went out the next day, and then I tried, and then I ended up having to go to work. So a couple days later, and that was the end of that. It just got too hot. So
Man.
he's still out there. So I'll just try again this year.
Yeah.
Well, that's what my husband said with mine. He was like, "Well, you obviously didn't hit him at all. So all they know is there was a big boom, just like you said, like
Yeah. But I was so disappointed because he was huge. So, but it's on my friend's private land. So I know he's still there. He sent me a picture of in December. He's got that big flock of turkeys. So
That's good.
he's got an X on him for this year.
Well, you'll have to send us pictures and videos, and we'll keep watching your Facebook and see if you end up getting him or not.
I hope I do. I
Yeah.
hope.
So what's some advice that you would give some ladies that are just starting out? I mean, did you think it was more beneficial to go on, hunts like Women of the Wild and you know, Wilderness goes on and things like that? Did you feel that that was really the best way for you to start? Or would you think maybe if you would have had more of a one-on-one experience, was it better as a group? What was good for you? And what kind of advice would you give to those starting out?
I feel like it was better for me to go with a ladies group like Wilderness, just because there was like all levels of hunting experience there. There was ladies that were very experienced, kind of experienced, maybe had been on a few waterfowl hunts, and then like me with no experience whatsoever. And it was, from the beginning, no judgment. We're all here to learn. We're all here to help each other. Nobody puts each other down. If somebody has a question, you ask it. And you just help each other out. I think a lot of women feel, this has just been from what I've been told, even in my ladies handgun class that I took, that a lot of women kind of feel intimidated by guys because they're like, well, why don't you get it? Like, you need to do this. Even a doctor I work with, her boyfriend wants her to go waterfowl hunting. And she's like, well, I just kind of feel intimidated, like, because I've not used to handling a shotgun and I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. And I was like, and she's like, I just don't want to spend my day and have him kind of be not like yelling at me, but kind of like yelling at me, like, hey, don't you know what you're supposed to be doing? And why did you miss that? And I was like, hey, well, check these people out, and give them a call and see what they have going on, or look up this group or that group. And I said, really, you'll probably feel more at ease because there's usually a diverse group of ladies and they'll show you the way. And even other ladies hunts that I've been on that aren't even with women's groups. One group hunt that I go on every year, I didn't get to go this year because my schedule didn't allow it, but we always just make the blanket statement. Some people have never hunted. Some people are not very experienced hunters. Some of you are experienced hunters, but no question is a dumb question. And we're not here to put each other down. We're not here to be rude to each other. If somebody needs help, you need to be nice to them. We're not here to be catty. Like, this is women supporting women, and we're here to have a good time, but we're also here to support each other. And unfortunately, that doesn't always happen, but I always try to hunt with women that have that same perspective and that same kind of, outlook on the whole entire hunt. Like, we're here to have a good time. Yeah, we're here to like put some birds down, but also we're here to help each other out, because we can't learn and advance as a group if we don't support each other and help the ones that aren't, experienced. So, I mean, the amount of women hunters are growing, but if we don't support each other, then we're not going to continue to grow. I'm always happy to help somebody else that wants to learn. And just like anything else, if you're not being supported and peer pressure is pretty bad, you're not going to want to go again with anybody. Not just that, no, not just those people.
And now a short word from our sponsors.
Well, you see, trappers are a special breed of people. We're dedicated, committed, and passionate about what we do and who we are. Each and every one of us has an intense desire to be the very best we can. So in the world of skinny jeans, man buns, and pumpkin spice lattes, sometimes you just have to stop, push back, and tell the world, that's not me. Whether you're from the far north or in the deep south and anywhere in between, Southern Snares can help you succeed at getting the job done and being who you are.
Share your love of the outdoors with your little ones through the exciting adventures in Dr. Josh Farr's children's books. As an avid sportsman, Dr. Josh Farr has taken his passion for the outdoors and uses his vivid storytelling to teach valuable lessons and appreciation of the world. Learn the alphabet through the ABCs of hunting. Find joy in exploring the outdoors with Let's Go Out and Play and more. You and your child will love learning about nature with Dr. Josh Farr. See all of his books now at drjoshfarr.com. That's drjoshfarr.com.
Girls with Guns Clothing is a proud sponsor of Women of the Wilds podcast. If you are looking for hunting gear, be sure to check out our new fall collection, including the launch of our new Artemis Generation 2 lineup. With Girls with Guns, you know that our gear has been designed and field tested by women who actually hunt and wear this gear. We have an amazing team of women who contribute and share their ideas and extensive field testing so that our gear works for you in multiple hunting environments. We build our gear for women of all shapes and sizes, made by women for women. If you want to try out GWG, you can go to gwgclothing.com and use WILD15 for a discount off of your first order.
Hey everyone, Andy from ACC Crappie Sticks. I want to tell you about our full line of vertical jigging and live scoping crappie rods. We have from 10 foot to 13 foot in mid seat to rear seat and available in cork and super grip handles to cover all of your vertical fishing and live scoping needs. Go to accrappiesticks.com. Thank you.
We would also like you to check out Sawmill Creek Bait and Lures, RMC Custom Calls, Atlantic Coral Enterprise, Blast and Cast Guide Service, Epler Fur, Feather Moon Calls, Shangalaya Safaris, Shelly Emmer with Dirty Girl Guide Service, and Hunting Day Podcast.
Tell us about, I saw that when you were on your Louisiana hunt, you got a nutria. How did that happen?
Well, actually, my friend shot it, but we all wanted to get it. Those are so disgusting. But I was like, we're all like, I want to shoot it. I want to shoot it. And she's like, I'm going to shoot it. And I was like, go for it. But those things down there are a nuisance. And they actually have the Nutria Rodeo that's like coming up, not this weekend, but the weekend after, I think, where they like as many can be shot, and like the biggest haul and the heaviest one and like the biggest throw. It's quite a yeah, you should look it up on Facebook.
Wow.
Actually,
Yeah.
I'm doing that right now. I'm like,
Yeah.
I need
Look
to know
up
what
the
this
Nutria
is.
Rodeo. Yeah, they have a Facebook page, and I'm like so gonna go one day. You have to get a team and you have to get a special permit for it, I think. But oh my God, they are disgusting. But you know, they eat those down there.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people like in Florida, they like put out rewards kind of like iguanas and stuff like that if you get rid of the nutrients.
Yeah. So now I'm like, and they're kind of everywhere. But she was like, I'm going to shoot it. And before anybody could do it, she shot it. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So and she's like, now we got to go pick it up. And I was like, okay. So
I just thought that was so funny because you had a nutria in one hand and the coot in the other hand. And I
I
was like,
always have to get an end of season coot.
yeah.
Always. That's like my thing. Like the last day of duck season last year, I was down there with my friend Roland, and he's a big coot shooter too. And it was almost the end shooting time. And he's like, are you ready? And I'm like, I'm ready. And there were 6 like just went by, and he goes, okay, we're going to blast them. And we got all 6. And so my last picture of duck season last year is me holding up 6 coots. Like it's our thing. Like you have to get a coot when you're in Louisiana. It's just like the thing.
That's funny.
Awesome.
So no, we did have a good time. So we shot some coots and a nutria, and I was like, well, we did get a pile of teal, but you know, you can get a pile of teal anywhere. So no, it was a lot of fun.
What's been your favorite hunt so far? Which hunt do you prefer the most?
Oh, wow. The sea ducks in Washington this year were pretty amazing. I think because of the scenery, it was absolutely beautiful, and just there was just like nothing like it. From the way you set the decoys to the way you hunt them, like you just basically wait for them to fly by. And you're laying out in a layout boat. And the whole time you're out there, you just enjoy this like beautiful scenery that's like nothing like it here in the Midwest. They're just, I don't know. I took pictures and they look like paintings, really.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I would go back there. I mean, I want to go back there just to like visit and like hike around and look around more. But one day it just was rainy and the water was kind of choppy, and it was a lot of work because they like the decoy lines to be like perfectly straight. So that's like, I feel like that's kind of we did a lot that day. But the first day we hunted on the Columbia River and we just sat on a log and shot birds. And that was a lot of fun just to do that. We just kind of sat on a log and just shot them as they flew by. And then the second and third day we went out, I think it was Union Station, Washington, and saw Mount Olympus. And I don't know, they would put two of us in the layout boat at a time. And then you just kind of sink down and just wait for them to come. And then you just would radio to the boat and say, I got a bird. And he'd come by and just scoop it up. So, and you just watch the seals out there, and you have to be careful because a seal will take your duck. So you have to like kill them on the first try because they just keep diving and keep diving and keep diving. I think that's been the coolest hunt I've been on this year, just because it was just so different.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just one to experience. Like, it was just really cool.
Do you have a bucket list hunt?
Trying to decide on that.
Well, I mean, you don't have to pick just one, I guess, but
I'm not quite, I think it's up in Idaho. There's my friend showed me, he ended up there, and I have it written down. I like have a list in my phone, but where they literally got out of the truck and the mallards were so thick they were just flying into the truck.
wow.
Yeah.
See, I feel like I could do that hunt.
Just open up the window.
So
Right.
yeah,
Like, I could do that.
yeah,
Like, I don't
And
even need the gun. I just keep going with the truck.
yeah, exactly. And
That's
I'd like to go to I think it is a Chesapeake Bay and go body. I think it is where they like actually stand in the bay and hide behind like wood. They're like wooden decoys and shoot from behind them. Is it like,
Oh.
I can't remember what it's called, but I had that list. I had that on my list too.
I know what you're
So-
talking about. I'm not sure what it's called either, though. But I've seen videos and stuff of them doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
And
neat.
I definitely want to go to Canada, I think, to experience that.
Well, when you
don't-
come to New York, I live like only an hour from from the Rainbow Bridge, so you can just look at the falls and go right across.
There you go. I have a passport already, so that'd be perfect.
There you go. Let me know when you're coming. I got the bed
All right.
already.
All right. I certainly will.
That's awesome. So I guess my other question for you is, you said that you have a daughter, right?
I have a son.
Son. Okay, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
So what does he think of this?
I think he was kind of skeptical at first, and then he realized that I actually was enjoying it. And then mentally, it was actually really good for me. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, it's hard to lose my dad died in 2007. So, but, and then you lose your mom. So I think he realized that actually it was really good for me to be out and kind of socializing. And I think he realized that, hey, you really do enjoy this. So he's actually really supportive of it.
Does he like follow you on Instagram and is like, my mom's a badass? Look at all these pictures. Because I follow you on Instagram and I'm kind of like, she's a badass, and see all the pictures. So just curious.
I don't know that he knows what to think really. Send him the pictures and he just like comments, that's cool. So he thinks it's too expensive what I spend on my dogs, but I think he is a big like marketing and finance person. So, you know, he told me one time, he's like, you don't need any new gear. And he goes, you have plenty. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, and you know, I don't think that you need to get another dog or send him to the trainer anymore. And I was like, all righty. Like, who's the
The
parent?
roles have reversed.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. Yeah.
You should tell him. Remember all that stupid stuff you bought whenever you were a kid? Well, now it's my turn.
Yeah. Remember those 250 Hot Wheels that you just had to have? Well,
Yeah. I found what you were talking about, Ashley. It's a body booting.
okay.
It's a substitute for sink box hunting, which sink box hunting sounds awful. They talk about like they stick you in a coffin box
No,
made of wood, yeah. But this one's like in shallow water at the Chesapeake Bay, and you put out a large spread, and then you hide behind a bunch of silhouetted decoys.
Yeah.
I think that's crazy.
Yeah.
Body booting.
So the
I thought
decoys
I was like,
could do, but that whole coffin thing,
Yeah,
No.
this is like something they did. Gosh, what's it say? Sink box hunting was eventually outlawed by the state of Maryland in 1935. I wonder why.
Yeah. Maybe because people like drowned.
Yeah, probably. And they're in the coffin shaped box
Yeah.
that they're stuck in the ground.
Yeah.
Well, if
Maybe
you're
some
g-
people drowned.
Well, if you're gonna go, I mean, you're already in your coffin. So
Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go. Let's
They
go out
probably
and
just
get
let
what's
you
up.
out to sea. Or maybe people forgot about the people being out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or the
You get-
tide came in.
Yeah, the tide would be the scary part, I would think.
Yeah. But I
Even
I
worse.
think that it would be really cool.
I've
So-
never heard of it till now. I didn't even know that was even a thing. Like we talk about when you snow goose hunt, you can cow them. You know,
Mhm.
get behind a cow decoy and go out there and you can cow snow geese because they're really dumb like that. They come
Yeah.
towards the cows. So when you're out there with the cow decoy, but I've never heard of like digging yourself into the ground and hiding behind a bunch of silhouettes to, in your waders while you're in water, trying
Yeah.
to wait for these ducks to work. That's crazy.
And I had never heard of it until Gator Waders like put it on their story. I think
Uh-huh.
they went out there and they had put it on their story, and I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. I want to do that. And
Was
they
there
were
a video about that from them on their
Uh-huh.
story? That might have actually be where I saw it too.
Yeah, I think like a year ago. And I was like, I need to go experience that. That's like on my like list. So I need to, probably not this coming year, but maybe like the year after. I need to like make sure I go do that.
So what
Before I get-
hunts do you have coming up?
Well, I think I'm done with birds for the season.
Mhm.
I dropped off my very muddy gun to get it cleaned. Like, I don't think I clean guns well enough. I can do a good enough clean, but I don't know, probably 400, 500 rounds through it. So it needed a real cleaning, and it was covered in mud from Arkansas. So I took it to my friend who will clean it for me.
Mhm.
So, and then I'll hunt in Oklahoma. Well, I'll hunt in Kansas for turkeys. I have some friends coming, and then go to Oklahoma at the end of April for turkeys. And then I'll buy 2 turkey tags for here in Kansas because where I live. And so hopefully I'll get 2. So we'll just have to see. And then I guess that'll be it for the season till next year.
Yeah.
I always go.
You usually do early season teal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then I was hoping to, hunt teal here this year with my dog, but we didn't have any. So
Good old drought.
yeah, like Cheyenne Bottoms
Uh-huh.
has instead. I usually go to Louisiana or Texas for teal. So at least for a weekend to see my friends, but hopefully the water will come back and I can hunt just down the road.
Have you ever thought about branching out into like deer or anything?
I have thought about it. Our rifle season is only like 10 days long.
Oh.
And it seems like I'm usually gone.
Oh,
My friend put me in a deer stand like for 2 days my first year, and I was just like, well, okay, what am I supposed to do? So I sat there for 2 days and never saw a deer. But I know that there's much more to deer hunting than that. So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I think I'm kind of over that.
Yeah,
So
did you hear about the bill that Kansas is passing for deer season?
I kind of read a little bit, but I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention.
They're gonna expand the rifle season 7 days in the front. So it'll be November, December. And then if you get your if you get your lifetime hunting license, they'll get you 2 buck tags too.
Oh, I just bought my 5 year. So
Mhm.
maybe I should like
Yeah,
just the other.
if you get your lifetime, they'll buy your first buck tag for you for free, and then you just buy your second, and then it's any season, so you can do one in muzzleloader, one in bow, 2 in rifle, whatever. I don't think there's any stipulation on how many you can harvest with a single weapon.
Oh, well, that would be much more handy for my schedule because it's,
Yeah.
I mean, I always like try to go do something for my birthday, which is December 3rd. And then by the time I get back, like half of it's already over. So that makes so much more sense.
Yeah, so they'll push it, by the sounds of it, they'll push it a little closer to the tail end of rut.
Oh, that'd be a lot better.
well, see, now that we just opened up a whole nother season for you. I mean, you're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
just be going and going and going.
I was only home like 3 days a month since October anyway. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you were doing a lot of traveling.
yeah, I
Mhm.
thought I figured it out that I drove like something like 25,000 miles,
Holy cow.
and that wasn't even going to Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a couple.
Mhm.
A few, just a couple.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's like the good thing about being in the Midwest. You can go about anywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
be wherever you need to be. Mhm.
Oh, it's only 12 hours away. Oh, that's nothing. I'll be there.
Yeah,
Tomorrow. Oh, that's no problem. I'll just hop in the car. I'll be there tomorrow.
yeah, exactly.
You guys are a lot more spread out, I gotta say. Like when we're here where we're at, like in New York, I mean, I can be anywhere in like 6, 7, maybe 8 hours. Like I can hit Pennsylvania, Ohio, anywhere. You guys are so spread out over there. Like, but you have less people to deal with. So I feel like your hunting opportunities are better just because you have less people.
Well, like Lubbock, Texas is only like 7.5 hours. It's only like 9 hours to Stuttgart, Arkansas. I mean, but it's just depends on where you're going. But it's just somebody's like, oh, you want to go wherever? And I'm like, oh, let me just map that out. Oh, sure, I'll be there. No problem. That's just a hop, skip, and a jump. That's only like 2 stops. Sure.
With you, now being single and your son's out of the house and everything, like this is to me, this is a heck of a lot better than sitting around, like, well, what do I do? Where do I go?
Mhm.
Like I think these things keep you young, like I didn't start trapping until I was in my mid 30s. And like that, I feel like, getting out, doing things, being part of nature, being part of the world instead of sitting on a computer or, your nose in a book or something. Like I think that keeps you young, keeps your mind going.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't agree more.
So we're coming up on our hour. Is there anything that you would like to tell us about, maybe your favorite hunt, any advice to ladies, just something to close us out with?
I guess my advice would be like, you're never too old to get out there and do it. You're never too old to start hunting. I started when I was 44. You're never, I mean, there's no age limit to starting. Um, if you want to do it, go out and do it. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. Certainly not a man.
Yeah, definitely. And with all the groups that are out there, like Women of the Wild and, just there's what, sisterhood and all
Yeah.
those different things that are out there. Like, I feel like there's opportunities no matter what state you're in, where you live, how old you are, your experience. I feel like there's always a group or something for someone.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
it's finding what group you enjoy more is what it is.
Exactly. Yeah. No
Absolutely.
doubt.
I mean, you think about age is but a number. You think about Matt Drury and then their mom, who's like in her 80s, upper 80s, 90s. She's out getting a buck every year.
Yeah.
Age is but a number. It's just if you can do it and you can find a way, you're set when it comes to hunting.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that because my husband always talks about how his grandmother used to go out all the time and she would shoot more deer than anybody else, any of the boys. She had boys, underneath of her, that any of the boys should shoot more. She'd be hauling it down off the hill. We live on 71 acres and it's like a big steep hill, basically. And she'd be hauling it down off the hill all by herself, just just going. And here these boys were like maybe shooting one deer and they'd ask for help and everything. And grandma's out there like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's fantastic. I think that's absolutely fantastic. Well, Ashley, I really enjoyed talking to you, getting to know you a little bit better. If anybody wanted to start following you, reach out, hear a little bit more, how would they find you?
On Instagram, my Instagram is ABNP75. And then, of course, I'm on Facebook. Feel free to friend request me. That's fine. So you can always message me too. So on Instagram or on Facebook, I'm always happy to help any new hunter with any questions. I've even had some guys that message me with questions about hunting. And even if it's a guy that is a new hunter, I mean, I'll help a guy with questions too. So, but I'm happy to help anyone anytime. So we all have to start somewhere. I mean, we all started somewhere.
And sometimes, honestly, I think those hunters that are newer, they remember what it's like to start. So they give better advice. They're a little more patient. They're a little bit more willing to help because they remember what it's like to first start. Where I feel like sometimes those hunters that have been doing it, all their life and, then now they're in their 60s and they started when they were 12 or whatnot. Sometimes they forget what it's like to be brand new at something. So I really appreciate when there's a newer hunter or anybody, to trapping, fishing, whatever, when they are like, hey, yeah, I'm totally willing to help because I feel like you can relate better sometimes.
Yeah. And I'm definitely no fisherman. I hunted freshwater trout summer before last, and I hunted saltwater trout last summer. And my friend, like, he's a guide, but he took me out on his boat and was so frustrated the whole time. I'm like, look, I can go fish at a Kansas, like, cow pond, but I don't know anything of what we're doing. And you need to chill out. Like, I don't know any of this stuff. And like, you just need to calm down because I do not know what is going on, except I can reel the fish in, but like what you're doing, I don't know these fish. So like, just teach me and just calm down. So once we've done this a few times, like I'll catch on, but you just gotta be patient with me. So it's just all about, just being patient and understanding, but he's been doing it forever. He's been doing it his whole life. He doesn't remember. So, and his kids have been doing it since they were itty bitty and now they're, ready to graduate high school. So it's been a while since he's had to teach anybody. You just have to remember that, hey, not everybody's been doing it forever. You just need to take a minute, just step back, regroup, take a big deep breath. Just give somebody a little bit of patience, and a little bit of time,
right?
A little bit of understanding. It's all
I like
good.
that. Just calm down. We're okay. Isn't it
Okay.
the other way? It's supposed to be the guide telling, like, calm down. It'll be okay. No. You're like, calm down. It'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate you being on. I appreciate Megan for joining us. And we will talk to you soon. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Ashley.
Nice talking to you, ladies.
Nice
Bye
talking
bye.
to you. Bye.
And that concludes this episode of Women of the Wild podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you have any questions or would like to check out our website, it is www.womenofthewild.net. We post different events and everything that we've got going on. We would really like to also thank our sponsors, ACC Crappie Sticks, Girls with Guns, Southern Snare, Sawmill Creek Baits and Lures, RMC Custom Calls, Atlantic Coral Enterprise, Blast and Cast Guide Service, Epler Fur, Feather Moon Calls, Shangri-La Safari, Dr. Josh Farr Children's Books, and Shelly Emmer with Dirty Girl Guide Service. Thank you all, and hope that you tune in 2 weeks for our next episode.